And we are finally live. Hello, everyone. And let us know, as always, how the audio is, but I'll pass you over to our host for today, who is going to be Rog. And hopefully he's not muted, but he might be, so bear with me. Yeah, give you a check. So you are muted, so let me just change that. Because everything always goes wrong.
The happy elf is in. Testing.
There you go. Yep. Should be all good now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Recentered episode 52, our apparently Christmas extravaganza with a really bad pun if you're looking at the YouTube title. I'm sorry about that. Not my fault. Your task today is to spot who is the least festive amongst us. Answers in the chat.
But jingle those bells, folks.
Oh, good grief.
I bet the noise reduction will cut
I'm resigning. Before we get into what we've been talking about, what we've been playing even, it's going to be one of those episodes. Technical problems already before we even started. Let's get into everything. Lee, apparently it's your 50 and it sucks, according to the show notes.
It was my 50th birthday Wednesday, and I ache even more now. So it definitely, when you go into that other decade, it sucks. So, yeah. It was quite a day, really. I just went out for a Chinese meal at night. I went out to one of those all-you-can-eat places because I like to eat lots of food. And it's probably the only time that I've spent 15 quid for all-you-can-eat, had a small plate of food, then went, oh, I don't want no more, I'm full. So that were it. So that were a waste of £15. But, yeah. That's, and then all I've been doing really is, if anyone's subscribed to us on Spotify, I apologise. I've been uploading all the old episodes because we can upload all those now on Spotify, and I've had to edit some and alter a few. So you probably might get to hear things that you've not heard before. So go back and listen to them all again, and don't forget to leave us a review and 5 stars. Thank you. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. And then we're moving house in 2 months. Well, a month in January because we've been given our notice. So yeah, enough about the Christmas cheer. That's what I've been doing, mate. Yeah.
It's not stopped you trying to dress like Mr. Claypole, though, has it?
No, that's a reference that everybody's going to get. Not in the UK and our age.
Absolutely. Gary, what you been up to?
Yeah, well, I didn't have anything on my list, but I see somebody did put down the Retro Computer Museum visit, so we might as well get onto that here, because we did mention it on the last podcast, but we all met up at the Retro Computer Museum last week and did the usual thing where we just go and play a few games and have a chat about various things. But yeah, it was good. It was a good day. It's always a good day there anyway. And it's like, I think once a year to do that kind of event is probably about right, because we've gone to maybe 2 or 3 a year before. Yeah. And sometimes it gets a bit too much because it's basically the same thing every time, but it is a lot of fun when we go and have a chat about stuff.
Yeah. The random dude there who was on the virtual reality machine, I totally forgot to get his name. I was chatting to him briefly, and totally randomly, it turns out that it was somebody who did their PhD in virtual reality, like quite a few years before the Oculus Rift even appeared. So that was rather bizarre. But yeah, it is nice to. It's always nice to go there and catch up. But Gary playing on the old PSVR. I mean, you've got one of those at home, haven't you?
Yeah, I know. It just sat there, and I thought, well, no, let's get it. I've not played Ace Combat 7 on the on my PSVR. No, I don't think. I think I played the demo because that had a demo back in the day when it first came out. So I think I played that. So I thought I'd just nip on and have a quick look at it, and then leave.
Yeah, because I said that though, didn't I? Because I said I've caught 2 trains, walked 10 miles to sit and play PSVR.
Yeah,
I've got one right here.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Good, yeah.
But yeah, it was just one of the things that, so you saw people go on it every now and again, but a lot of it, of course, it's all about the arcade machines and stuff that are in that area as well. So yeah, it's we didn't go on the virtuality machines this year though, did we? Is that the first year we've not actually gone on one of these machines?
I don't think we went on last time we were in.
Yeah, I think it's been a while since we've had our competition.
Yeah, it has. But I wanted to go on that. One of the sit-down pods, because they had the playing game set up, but the guy was there, but he always seemed a little bit busy, to be honest. And also, they didn't have that set up with the 2-player. They did have Dactyl Nightmare set up, I think, with 2 players as usual, but they didn't have the sit-down pods ones, unfortunately. But yeah, it's good. It's as always, we recommend it anyway.
You can play Dactyl Nightmare as well on the Is it? Which store is it on? Is it on the Rift store?
Yeah.
It was on the
I mean,
Rift,
I
wasn't
played it, and then people kept saying they couldn't play it. But I mean, this was a few years back, so that maybe you can still play that if you want to go in there and try it out.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can play it. There are ways to play it still.
But talking of the Retro Museum, though, Lee won a raffle prize, and he hasn't opened it yet.
Dude, I would have totally forgotten you just said that.
So Lee entered the raffle, but he had to go before. So Rog,
just because it's an hour walk to get to the train station and then 2 hours to get back, and then I had to sort house things out and all the crap. Right, keep talking. I'll just get in this parcel.
Yeah,
dude, this is going to be amazing, right? It's going to be the Lego. There's a Lego Game Boy there. I'm predicting that.
Yeah, I mean, if that was still there, I'd have stolen it.
Dude, this come other day, and my missus went, "What have you been ordering now?" I said, "Nothing." She'd been ordering crap again. I said, "I've not ordered anything." And then I looked at it, and I could see Roger's address on the back. I went, "It's from Roger." Oh, he's wrapped it up and everything.
So
it's going to be a makeup kit.
That's as festive as I get. You'll be wishing it was a makeup kit.
Dude, I can't go in it. Oh, hold on. Right, I'm almost in. I'll try and drag it out on camera.
This is really good for the audio version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to chop this out for the audio.
Wait a minute. I can't quite see it. It's Young Jedi. My crap in the video broadcast. Young Jedi Adventures. What is it? Dude, this is amazing. You said it was crap.
I mean, you've got a Yoda, so...
That's Rog holding the prize as well. Quite pleased with himself for having got such a awesome gift, I think. Is what. But we decided, we decided to leave that little sticker on the top as well.
Whoever donated the prize left their 80% off price sticker.
It's okay. Well, I mean, I paid a tenner in raffle tickets, so I'm actually £5 down. I could have actually gone and bought this from the shop for £5. No, it's cool, man. Thanks for that. I have actually got. Though, cut this bit out of the audio as well. Can you remember Paw Patrol, the kids' cartoon?
Yeah,
good
I hate it.
I mean, Gary probably remember it.
That was after my time.
Yeah.
Well, I bought all the little dog things and stuff for the kids, and I say for the kids, I bought them for me, and I put them all over my desk.
Oh, jeez. I hated that.
Paw Patrol.
I watched when you've got kids and you're watching all these programs again and again and again. In the Night Garden, did you ever watch Forget about it. We shouldn't get onto that because I'll go down a road hole with that.
Remember, VR podcast. Not
VR podcast. Let's get on with it.
I know we get distracted sometimes.
Thanks for the birthday wishes, everyone. What just said it. Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Should we get onto VR stuff or?
Well, I've been up to is actually some VR stuff. If you want to throw the Super Stardust one up first, Gary. Well, that's all I've got. I didn't want to record anything of the other one just because of copyright stuff.
It's on now.
So a couple of things. I've forgotten who mentioned it. It was somebody in chat on the Virtual Strangers podcast mentioned the RPC S3 PSVR PlayStation 3 emulator and said, well, you can actually play any games that were in 3D. You can play them in if you use Virtual Desktop with this emulator, you can play them in 3D. Thought, I've not thought of that because I've still got a PS3. So if I really wanted to play it on PS3, I could just plug that in. So anyway, yes. One emulator download later, and Super Stardust in 3D on a giant virtual screen. It's like, works pretty well. Actually, works pretty flawlessly. So yeah, if you're into your old PlayStation 3 games, especially if there were any in 3D that you miss playing, have a look for the RPC S3 emulator, and Super Stardust works. I think one of the Ridge Racer games might work. I've not looked enough. I did try one of the Motorstorm games in 3D, and that didn't work, unfortunately. But it's if you're into your emulation, it's definitely worth a look. Especially whack it on a big IMAX size screen, and it's in 3D, quite impressive. The other thing I wanted to mention briefly was, and I've said before, I've been and watched a few films on IMAX over the past couple of months. I went and watched Predator and Tron Ares. And putting aside what you might think of Tron Ares as a film, I mean, not a great movie, but as an audiovisual experience, it's worth a watch. And I thought, how well does VR really replicate an IMAX experience. And I did sort of wonder that because I've never had surround sound speakers before, and I've got a new sound setup for my TV finally, because the TV I've got now, it's all digital outputs, it's all ARC and eARC and all that sort of thing. And so I've got a new sound setup. So I sat facing my TV with the sound set up, stuck Tron Ares on there, but streamed it to my headset in the virtual sort of IMAX-sized screen. I thought, I want to see how close you can get, and it's not half bad. I must admit, I was kind of shocked, because I know in the past I've always sort of, I don't want to sit watching a film with a headset on, but I sat and watched through the entire film with no interruptions, without getting up, going to the loo, without going and getting a drink or whatever. And if I watch a film on the TV, I never do that. I'll watch an hour or something, then I'll get up, I'll go and make a cup of tea, I'll get a snack or whatever. But in the headset, I sat and watched it start to finish. And so if you've got a nice bassy sound setup, and if you've never tried watching a film in VR, I wouldn't do it with everything, just because of the current headsets. I want it a bit more clear. I want more clarity, which is why I'm a bit disappointed with the Steam frame. But that, if the Steam frame's just lighter anyway, then it's just even more comfortable. I think I can see it as something I'd do more of, because with the right film, with that Tron Ares, it's about the visuals, and it's about the sound as well. It's a 9 Inch Nail soundtrack, and you want your bass turned up, and you want the room vibrating. Okay, the film's not great, shall we say, but it's a bit like Half-Life 3. And I always say it's like I don't think the game's that good, but the experience is amazing. And I think it's a bit like that with Tron Ares. The film's not very good, but the experience is definitely worth having.
Half-Life Alex, I think you meant, not Half-Life 3.
Half-Life, did I say Half-Life 3? I'm not supposed to say about that.
Yeah, I know. We're under NDA, aren't we? Yeah. Forgot about that.
I'll speak about it,
Yeah.
Yes, Half-Life Alex, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
I watched Ready Player One, the 3D version, on a giant screen, like an IMAX screen in the headset ages ago. And 3D worked really well.
Yeah.
In it. And you can alter a few settings. I think it's called Sky Player. If anyone's tried that on the Quest Store, that worked really well.
PD asked, was it in 3D? I just watched I only had the 2D version. I know there was like a 3D version in cinemas. I don't know if that's available.
I don't think so, not yet. I think it's supposed to be coming out in January or February, the physical editions, isn't it?
Right, okay.
So you might get 3D on that one, but I've not seen it down as 3D anywhere, so I don't know.
No, but it was, yes, my mind has been changed yet again as to the value of watching 2D content in VR.
Mind you, we just quickly on that 3D point, because we've not got that in the news or anything, but did you see that thing about Google with the Samsung XR, where they can turn any flat content into 3D?
Yeah.
Whether, we'll see how well it works, but they seem pretty confident.
Somebody babbling on about the web being immersive and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but they're saying basically any game, any flat game you want to play, any movie content or anything like that, it can make it all into 3D. Using AI. I mean, it's using AI to convert it all into 3D.
Right.
But yeah,
we will see.
We'll see. Because that will be a big deal if they can do it, and if something like then the Steam frame can do it as well for any game you want to play. I mean, that would be pretty incredible. But remain skeptical. Yeah,
well, I've got to see it, but you never know.
Never know.
I mean, some of the 2D to 3D stuff on Meta works quite well. So, I uploaded a few pictures. They look quite good in 3D.
Oh, that finally appeared. That finally
appeared.
You've got it, have you now? Yeah, that option appeared, and I've not had a look at it yet.
I mean, plus we've been into something called Photon. I think, did you say somebody mentioned it on our Discord, Roger? Now, somehow I missed it, so apologies.
Michelle mentioned it on Discord, yeah.
Yeah, if you've got a Quest, get Photon and have a look at some of the 3D stuff. I don't know how you change to different people, though, Roger. Do you?
Just cycle through the content, and after I think the first few sort of videos are ones they've put on there, and then I think the later stuff is just user uploaded stuff, because there's somebody had converted an old VH1 Michael Jackson version video of Smooth Criminal into 3D, and apart from the fact it looked a bit low res, the actual 3D was all right. It's surprising.
Yeah, I could find like one person when it first loads up. It loads up with different people, don't it? Every time you load it up, but it was like really high quality, high def. animation stuff, and I just scrolled down, and it was just them, and I couldn't find anything else to change
Oh,
onto.
mine,
So
when I went on,
altered
it changes to different people. If you keep scrolling down, it eventually, I got a load of different people, content. But I mean, that's the thing,
good though, right?
Like, yeah, it does look really good. But like you were saying, Lee, with the photos, the fact it, like on an iPhone, you can just hold any photo now, and within like half a second, it can convert it into 3D, stereoscopic 3D. And you just think, well, it works there. I mean, it would depend how well it can do it in real time and all this kind of stuff with 3D games and things. That's where the challenge is, I would expect. It's got to do every frame.
Yeah, constantly.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's... But we'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, on to the first thing we've been playing. We did get access to the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Empire City preview, demo, whatever you want to call it. Did you manage to get into this, Lee? I can't remember if you...
I played the first part. I think, I don't know, you guys will be able to tell me, it puts you into one of the, obviously, turtles, kind of Raphael or something.
Leonardo's first.
Yeah. Leonardo's the first one with the swords.
Yeah.
I played through that bit, and then it puts you into another character, don't it? And I thought, I've had enough for it for now. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there is. It looks very Deadpool-like. It's got that aesthetic look into it. But when... I'm sort of like torn because I love early access to things like this to see what it looks like and the potential of it. But also I'm a bit, because you notice things missing and because it's obviously an early beta and things have need to get added. So I can't get my brain past, walking in the sewers, there's no sound. And it's like weird because there would be like water splashing. But obviously they're going to add that later on. But as for gameplay wise, I didn't think it was too bad what I played. And it's going to be 4-player co-op, isn't it? It's going to be cool.
Well, presume it is. I'm not entirely sure. I've no idea. It's like, because this is only the tutorial level, so with 4 players it would be a bit crammed. But it might be the case that you have to go through the tutorial sort of levels by yourself and learn it first, I suppose. Because once you get towards the end, the final part, there is an arcade machine, and you have to pick. It's like when you're in the lair, in that lair demo as well. You can pick which turtle you want, and then you go through
pick which turtle you want.
You go through the final part of the demo with the turtle you've picked. But yeah, the only worry I've got really is the same worry I have about any VR game that's got melee combat in it, in the fact that it's that lack of actual real physicality, because you're swinging at thin air. It's like with what I was saying, like with the boxing game the other month as well. It's like there's that lack of resistance. It always feels a bit weird. I still think Asgard's Wrath or Asgard's Wrath 2 might still be one of my favourite sort of combat games, because you had to sort of, you've got that thing where you have to block or then open them up to an attack. And, where with this so far, it just sort of seems you can just sort of wail about, swing your swords or your nunchucks about and just sort of, I don't know. I didn't feel like I needed any skill in particular.
No.
But again, it's the first level. It's just a training thing, really.
It's tutorial, really. It feels like it's just teaching you.
It's a tutorial for each turtle,
teaching you the ropes with it, because each of them have, obviously they've got different weapons, and I think some of the weapons are better than others. I think the swords are the best by far, to be honest. The nunchucks just, I don't like the way how they work at all in this. But
yeah, I'd say the sword or the staff anyway.
Yeah. But because it is a tutorial, so it is really easy to get through. Like, there's no challenge here at all, as you'd expect with a tutorial. But I think it does look really good. I experienced a few performance problems in the lair, but in the game itself, when I was playing, it was pretty good to me.
Yeah, the lair definitely does slow down a little bit. There are a few hiccups going through the thing as well, but like I say, we can't criticise it because it's. I think it describes it as a pre-beta, so
that's true.
It's way off yet. I think
But the models, like the character models, are the turtles and April. They're really good. Yeah, I thought they looked great.
It's full body setup as well, isn't it? It's not just floating hands. You've got
the arm placements are pretty cool as well, because there were. We had some issues at the beginning, but the latest update, they're like proper where they are. And your arms are massive, aren't they? So I guess I know what it feels like to look like GT now. So there is that bonus to it.
But when you look at the others, when you look at the character models of the other turtles in the rooms as well, they look great, and the animations all fantastic on them as well. I did have one problem at the end though, where you go up to that arcade machine, you select the turtle you want to do for that final boss. It's like a little mini boss battle that you have at the end of the tutorial, really. And my right hand just stopped working. it wasn't anything to do with the controller, because I could still move my hand and my hand would move around fine, but none of the inputs would work. So I couldn't dash, I couldn't kick, I couldn't even grab my sword because I went in as Leonardo. I couldn't grab my other sword. So I was completely hampered in what I could do in that final section for some reason.
That's really weird you should mention that, because in another game we're going to talk about later, the same thing happened.
Oh, right, okay.
My right hand stopped working, and it wasn't the controller. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, this is early access anyway, so this is just small problems. But
I hope they don't put too many more demos out now. I hope they sort of like, it's nice to have early access, but like I say, I just hope that they just get on with it now and don't try and sort of keep trying to get people to do more and more content when the game is still, it's probably still quite a way away yet.
Yeah, I was quite impressed with it though, what's there at the minute, that tutorial section. And it's nice and short and snappy. It's not like you spend too long with each turtle. It goes through the basics, gives you enough combat to keep you interested in that tutorial as well, and tells you like what individual abilities each of the turtles has as you play through the game. So yeah, I'm impressed with it anyway. Yeah.
Just one to look out for anyway. But like I say, no idea when it's going to be out. So
yeah.
Now, a game what is out, and which, oh wow, okay, hang on, I have the notes. My notes are on totally my other PC. Okay, it might be a good thing. So next up is Syberia, and I was actually gifted a key for this. Thank you very much, Quest Games Optimizer guy. So I played Syberia back in the day when it first came out, when it was a 2D point and click adventure. I have not played it since. I loved it back in the day, and I've never played it again. So I was sort of interested to go back to this. I will say right off the bat, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, the head movement is quite juddery on this video. It does not look like that in the game. There are major performance issues, but actual head rotation isn't one of them. It's just that this game runs at a very unstable 36 frames a second, reprojected to 72, and it's not stable at all. So there are performance issues, and that's the main problem with the game really. This should have been on PC. I think it's done it a bit of an injustice releasing it as a Quest game. It has been patched since I was playing it, because I don't know how many of my initial gripes are still relevant, because I noticed a definite change on the version number one day, literally a couple of days back, when I went in to try and to grab some video, and the version number had changed, and there was the settings screen there. I'm sure I had not seen before, with all the amount of options what was suddenly available, because I mean, either I missed it or the settings were shockingly hidden initially. Because when I first played it, there was no way I could have played it on just normal locomotion. It was too slow. But as a couple of days ago, at least, anyway, you can change it all. Smooth locomotion is perfectly fine, speed-wise, and smooth rotation-wise speed. You can turn that up. The problem with it is the frame rate is so unstable. On smooth locomotion, I was feeling I wouldn't say I was feeling motion sick, but I did feel a little bit wobbly at one point, and I could see it as I was playing it. The forward motion was wobbling, as it was speeding up and slowing down slightly. It wasn't a smooth experience. You can see all the time it's reprojected. It's just moving your hands about or manipulating objects. But anyway, performance issues aside, if you don't know what this is, it's basically the same point and click adventure put into VR. You play a lawyer who's gone to this sort of town, what's still a bit sort of oldie sort of town, what's got a mechanical toy factory. She's been sent there to finalize the purchase of it. And it turns out the person who you're supposed to deal with has suddenly died. There's another heir to the factory who was thought to be dead, and it leads off and starts off like from something simple, sort of mundane as buying this factory, off on an adventure. And there's lots to do with mammoths involved. There's a whole thing with mammoths. There is so much wrong from a technical point of view that I would say I'd have to classify it as just plain bad technically. And it's annoying because despite that, I still kept going back in to play it. I still think there's a good game there. I think the game still holds up, and I think the conversion to VR would hold up if it wasn't held back by being on Quest 3 or by somebody else, if somebody else could do a better job of the conversion, because frankly, it's technically it's poor. And I hate to say it because like I say, I kept going back in to play bits here and there, and it should have been on PC. And it's as simple as that. You can teleport around, and in all honesty, I did that a lot because when you're sort of like on one of the main streets or in a larger location, it's just quicker, and it's more comfortable because you don't have to deal with the sort of dodgy frame rate. Say it's the frame rate isn't as bad as the video probably makes it look, but the recording video added to the problem. Shall we say it made it look worse than it actually is, but it's still pretty compared to pretty much most other games on the Quest. It is poor frame rate wise. I still think personally that you should never release a game at 36 to 72 reprojected, but if you're going to do that, it needs to be stable, and this isn't. Even when you're not recording, the frame rate, it just is not stable. And yeah, it's a crying shame because there's a game there I like, and you know, I looked online. I think I managed to get about just over halfway through, and I just couldn't play it anymore. There's too many issues. I had a document. It's on my other PC, and I think I was up to about 20 plus problems that this had. You could probably knock 5 of those off because some of them were to do with the pace of movement and like smooth rotation and stuff. But as I say, I'm sure that's been patched in later compared to when I first started playing it. But it's so hard to recommend unless you want to teleport around all the time, in which case, you know, you take your chance. Yeah, yeah. VR Aviator in chat just said, so disappointing. I love the original. Yeah, same. Absolutely the same. The first 2 games, I remember everybody played them back on PC back then because it was back in the time where it was, if we got stuck, you talked to somebody else who was playing the game. You didn't look online. I'm not even sure there was much of an online. There probably was then.
Here's what PD bought me because I'm a big point and click fan, aren't I? So he bought it. So you ever play Syberia? I'm like, no, because I'm such a huge point and click fan. I've also never played the Monkey Island series either. So
yeah, but they did do they have done a flat remake as well, and I've not played it, but I did look at a video on YouTube, and that was nice, smooth, 60 frames a second. Visually, looks so much better, and so, you know, play a version of it. Maybe even play the old original version if you like point and click games, because I still think it's very strange. It's a very sort of low key, sedate sort of game, but I always found it interesting. The setting just had something there that I always really liked.
It does look interesting seeing it in 3D because I'm remembering the parts that I played in the beginning like this, where it's letting you walking at the side of him, but to see it in 3D looks
it's like there's points in the game as well where another character will walk about, and you go to follow this character, and it must be the same cutoff point sort of technically where it was on the 2D version where it'd normally walk up the screen, but in this, suddenly the character just disappears, and so you keep walking along, and all of a sudden they're walking back, having unlocked a door for you, or it's like, why? Yeah, there's bits like that. It's just, it's lack of attention to detail, I think, as well, and it's so annoying because the game, I want to love the game and I can't because of the technical problems, and it's as simple as that. But yeah, it's on Quest anyway. If you do have a look, I would say if you are gonna have a look, maybe wait and see if they do more patches, or wait for a sale. Even it's hard to recommend. But anyway, that's that. Next up, now this one's been getting. I keep seeing a lot of praise for it. So we've got Of Lies and Rain. I think we've all played this, and I think we've all played it on different platforms. Gary, do you want to start off? I think you played it on PC.
Yeah, I played a bit of this on PC. So most of my time this past week was spent on sort of Thief VR, which we'll get to later on. But I did want to just jump into this for an hour just to see what it was all about, because like you, I'd seen a lot of praise for this game, and people were comparing it a lot to Half-Life Alyx, and you can sort of understand why they're definitely going for that. There's certain aesthetic choices that they made in this with certain other like environmental things that you see. They're very Half-Life Alyx, some of the areas that you get into. So but this is not Half-Life Alex. It's not got that kind of budget. Of course, it's made by a indie developer. This is from the developers who did. Is it? What was that? What was the game? Arcanade? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
Arcanade, yeah.
Arcanade, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. They changed the name. I think it was just called Arcade at first, wasn't it? And for some reason they had to change it.
Yeah, I think so. But so this is sort of they're trying to up the game with this, and I think they've done a nice enough job with this. I think the opening for indie developer, it's quite slow paced. But environmentally, immediately, I was quite impressed with some of the stuff that is around, because you've got these weird alien creatures, and some of them are really huge, that are in sort of the middle distance, that are flying around with these really nice environments in the distance as well, but very odd, really alien-looking place that you're going around as well. But it was quite impressive as an opening, but it is slow paced. It's not really the action-packed shooter or anything like that. And because it feels like they are playing into this Half-Life Alex type of thing a little bit with it, it's difficult not to compare it to that in certain aspects. But you have to keep in mind, as I mentioned, really, this is by an indie developer, so you've got to keep your expectations in check in what they're doing. They're doing it with keeping some of the aspects that they've clearly focused on are the physics-based things. Like you go up to a shelf, like exactly as you do in Half-Life Alex, where you've got all these sort of clutter on the shelf, and you can move all the clutter out the way with your hand. Everything is like a physics object, and they pull that off perfectly, in my opinion. It works really, really well. The doors, you can just go up and just slightly nudge your door, and all of these types of things as well. So I think it falls down mainly in terms of like the graphics are clearly, some of the assets are clearly like cut back, and feel a little bit maybe low res textures on certain things. The floor and some of the wall environments look a bit flat, but all within bounds of what you would expect for an indie developer anyway. Gameplay wise, I just struggle. This is probably where I struggle the most with it. I don't like the way the default gun feels, first of all, when you're shooting that. There's just not a lot of oomph with it. When you get onto some of the other guns, it feels better. But then I'm struggling for ammo. I hardly ever use these other guns because I can't ever find enough ammo for them. And then you've got this gravity glove thing, like in Half-Life Alex, of course. And the implementation of that is just not up to the same standard as it is in a lot of other games that use that mechanic. I just find myself thinking that's a little bit more finicky than I've found it in certain other games. So because they're playing into a lot of these mechanics that have been almost well established now in VR, I feel like it's difficult not to compare it directly to some of these other things that have just done it better. And I think that's probably where, I don't think this is bad by any means. I think it's very good, and I'm intrigued by it after only playing an hour. I definitely want to play more of this. It's not that I just think it's difficult not to judge it based on how we see the whole landscape of VR when we're playing all these games, that it's just not doing certain things quite as well. And maybe that's where I struggle with it a little bit. And just this section on the video now where you go into this sort of, you're going into a machine, you're almost like it's that visual representation that you see in a lot of old 80s and 90s films where you're literally hacking a machine in this kind of way. But you're going through these, it can sort of teleport you to certain areas and things like that. These sections, I've only been through a couple of them, so I can't judge it, but there's nothing really major with these sections. You're shooting a few blobs and just traversing to get to the exit. That's what you do in these sections. So maybe I need to play a bit more of these if they get more interesting in what they're doing. And there are some interesting stuff with this, where you've got this thing that you charge it up, you aim this gun in your left hand to a certain direction, you'll shoot yourself in that direction. So you can go flying through these levels and then teleport to these certain blocks as well. There's some interesting stuff with that traversal, but I wasn't like enamored with it or anything. It never felt like, I want to play a game that was made with this mechanic. It just feels like this is a nice distraction for a little while. That's all. But
I think I played about 3 or 4 hours of it, and in all honesty, I'd sort of had enough. It just it's not interesting to me. It feels very, I would say grey, but sort of more tinged blue with red lighting for a lot of the time. And it's just, that opening bit was like, ooh, it really gets you. Like you say, that opening bit, you're on the cliffside, and then you climb up the cliff, and then that one of those larger ones really comes close, one of the large floaty alien creatures sort of swoops past. And then it was just downhill for me from there. I just totally lost interest. I just don't find it interesting at all. I kind of find it a bit bland, in all honesty. It just does. Yeah, it's made well enough. I just don't think it just lacks. Yeah, it lacks the spectacle of something like Alex. There's too much of it looks the same. The sort of like the cyberspace, or was it Data World thing? Data World, as it calls it. Again, it's just you're suddenly thrust into a platforming game. You've gone from a first-person shooter to basically a platformer, and it becomes slightly more harder and more complex as you go into each new one of those. And it's just jumping and bouncing your way from one end to the other. The challenge being that sometimes there's upgrade cubes what are out of the way. The cubes you collect, they're in the Data World as well, which you need for your upgrades, and it'll put those like in the middle of sort of out there on a chasm for you to try to lure you out to collect. And then if you die, you go back to the beginning of that again. And it was like, by the time I got to maybe the fourth one, I just didn't care anymore. I just didn't care to try and collect the upgrades. I just wanted to get through it and out of that as quickly as possible, because it was just such a weird juxtaposition between the actual main game and those sort of like VR world type bits, which, yeah, I'm sorry, it's not for me.
I feel like they put those sections in to break up the game, so it broke up some of the monotony. But like you are, I feel like if they don't really expand a lot with this, I do think that they're you can see why they were put in. They were just simply there to break up the monotony, but they weren't focused on enough to make them that enjoyable. Those sections maybe, but I'm just bouncing off of what you're saying really, because I haven't played enough to really make my own judgment on that. But yeah, if that's how they were put in just to break up the game.
It almost feels like they were put in to maybe make the game just longer because there's nothing, all they are is bouncy, jumpy traversal sections with no real need for them to be there, apart from to make the game longer. That's what it felt like. Lee, you had a look at it on Quest.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't keen on the digital bits either. They weren't. I mean, we played this ages ago when it was like in early beta, maybe, Roger and myself. And I've been wanting to try it because I know it's come out of early access. I think it's in version 1.0, maybe. And it's really weird because it said that it was available to download on my Quest, but I couldn't install it. So I was too scared to buy it in case it didn't work. So I did reach out to the dev, who very kindly gave us a key for PSVR, PC and Quest, so we all took one each to give it a try. But I do like the kind of slow paced story thing. I'm all right with things like that. And I spoke to Raj and he says, "What you rate it?" I said, "I'll give it like a 7 at the minute. I'm really quite enjoying it." That's when it all went pear-shaped for me a bit after that. I went into some sort of like tunnel part, and I just kept dying. You have to put like a face thing on, but you got 30 seconds to go through this bit, don't you?
Yeah.
And I just kept dying all the time. I couldn't try and work out in my head how long 30 seconds was for some bizarre reason. Then you've got lasers shooting at you and they were killing me. But I eventually got through all that bit and I sort of realised, I've got to go up this climb. There's a lot of climbing parts in it because I got stuck on where to go. I didn't know where to go. And then I went around this giant room, and as you'll see on the video now, I thought there's only one little part I could possibly have. Perhaps I've got to crawl through that. And as I pulled down on the thumbstick to get to crawl level, it dropped me through the bottom of the world. And as you can see on the video, I'm like, well, I can't. I was trying to get out. I was trying to reach up and get out. And I thought, well, this is version 1.0. And all I did was get to the area you've got to go and crouch. And if it's doing that, then I don't know what to say. Plus, performance-wise, it was really bad. I was saying to Raj, I'm only getting 20 minutes on this game and I'm having to come out. And I've put a few clips up of the frames. I tried it at 45 to 90. That wasn't great. It's not great on any of them, really. The performance is up and down, as you can see on the graphs. I mean, obviously, I'm running OVR metrics, so that's going to take up some of the headroom. So, unfortunately, that bit's stumping me, but I would probably give it a go on the PC version just to see how that plays as well. It's another game that's reprojected then, that's run at half frame rate. Well, you can run, this is the thing, you can run it at 72, 80, and 90, fine, or you can have ASW on any of those as well. So they're giving you 3 options there you can have, but you can't run this at 90 without ASW because it gives a terrible like ghosting effect when you move forward and backwards. So you've got to run it with ASW. But to me, I don't really have any issues with that. but it's got to be, like Roger says, for something at 36, it's got to be stable, and it's just not quite stable enough for me. I mean, graphically, it looked great for a Quest game, especially when I got outside in the open world as such. I was really quite enjoying walking around and picking things up. It doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't tell you where to go or what to do.
No, it doesn't. I got stuck at one point because I'd missed it. I'd missed a section where you have to climb across, and sometimes there's like these like yellowish sort of cubes that you can use you can use them to drag yourself through a tunnel or whatever, and that's quite cool. But there was one section where I needed to climb across like a ladder on something what had fallen over, this canal sort of section. I'd not spotted the ladder. I think I'm so used to in games now to stuff being, highlighted in bright colours, but literally sort of scream, "Climb me!" And and this wasn't. And I stuck for a good 5 or 10 minutes wondering what I was supposed to do. And then I finally noticed right on the other side there were some cubes in the distance. And then I saw just like the grey ladder. I thought, oh, hang on. I managed to sort of clamber across. But I want more variety graphically. It's just not varied enough for me at all.
Did you, because in the amount I've played, there's a section near the beginning, because I've only played the first hour anyway, where you've got this valve and you have to like turn the water off. There was a cool little bit there where, because it doesn't guide you, it doesn't tell you what to do, it doesn't highlight objects that you're supposed to, you've got to work it out. And that was quite well done. I quite liked how that bit was done, actually. And some stuff like that, if there's more little touches like that where you have to...
Yeah, but there's other ways you can do that as well. Do you know, because the first time I did that, because you got this thing called Mercury, what kills you, didn't it? And it lowers it all down so you can walk across, flick this lever on this electricity thing.
Just be careful about spoilers, about giving it away. That's the only thing I'll say, because you don't want
to... But, I mean, the other thing is you've got to turn this wheel, but it slowly moves back into... I mean, you've got a limited amount of time, then you've got to try and climb back. But I put one of those giant oil drums underneath it and wedged it underneath. Yeah. So I wound it all the way back, put one of them, wedged it, and just strode across.
Oh, right.
I did it a different way. There's loads of different ways. Yeah, I did it a different way to that. I don't want to give too much away, because I'd like people to work it out and see how they can come up with a solution to it.
I've got like different ways you can do things, which I thought that was quite nice. But like I say, I'm just a bit stuck with the bugs and a bit stuck on the performance. But I would like to give this a go on PC. It's somewhat... I don't mind the slow pace stuff. I mean, we play Memoriam and you don't get any slower than that. So I'm quite happy now to give things more of an hour, 2-3 hours. I know Roger's getting it 4, but it's probably more suited to me, this type of thing.
But Memoriam was actually, there was something about Memoriam that was just interesting and that I enjoyed. Yeah. Despite the fact that had technical problems as well.
Have you finished it yet, Roger?
No, I got close, and then I got to that. I've not gone back and tried that. Where it's that same point where I suddenly
something screeching at you, and you've got to try and kill it. Yeah. Well, I think it was Andrew. If I've got your name right this time, I'm sure it's Andrew. If I've got it wrong again, I'm really sorry. I think I said Anthony last time. He sort of gave me a massive hint. So I want to. Once you know, Roger, you'll be kicking yourself.
Yeah, it's just like last month there was so much to play, wasn't there?
There was. Yeah.
And there was so much that was actually good as well. And it's like,
this is it. We've been getting some good games just recently.
Yeah.
Really good.
And then we've got this month, but
there's some good.
I mean, I will give Avalanche Rain a go on PC, and see what it's like there. See if it's
I played it on
buggy. I don't know.
I played it on PC, and I wouldn't say it was buggy at all.
No.
So not from what I remember anyway from that, but I did have. See, I did have a few performance issues in places, because what it does, you go through a section as well, and then it does tell you when it's saving, which I always like. I like a game that tells you when it's saving. But then because you don't go through... It sort of tries to make it so that you're not going through distinct levels. Everything carries on from one area to the next area. Yeah. And sometimes as you're traversing from one area to the next area, it will say loading at the bottom of the screen. And whenever it did that, and for sometimes a few seconds after that, there would be stuttering. Of course, it's loading stuff, it's loading data and doing all these things where it's causing some performance issues. And it wasn't all the time, but you do notice that there are these sections which are less than perfect in terms of performance. But no, I mean, I'm okay with that, because you understand why it's doing it, and they're just trying to go for this more cohesive sort of full game where you're not being separated up into distinct levels, which they've done quite well.
Yeah, I mean the PSVR 2 version, I think there's as far as I can remember, I think it ran flawlessly. I don't remember any performance problems at all.
Yeah, I think that is, by all accounts, the best version to get.
Yeah, and that gives you two options. You can play it at 60 to 120 reprojected, or you can play it at 90 hertz. And so obviously I played it at 90.
Well, that's good. Yeah. They've got that option. I like it when they put that option in there. Arcanage did that as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I did briefly have a look at the 60 hertz mode. I'm not sure if I could tell there was any sort of resolution benefit. I imagine there probably is. I think I need better lenses in that headset though to tell at that point, because the 90 hertz one looked fine anyway. So yeah, play it at 90 hertz. It's the sensible choice. But yeah, unless anybody else has got anything else to say about that one,
nope.
We'll move on. Yeah. So the next one is Shadowgate on PSVR 2. Now this came out quite a long time back, didn't it? Was it on Quest or PC or both? Even
I think it might have been PC. Then it came out on Quest after that, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, but that's how I remember it anyway.
Yeah. So Shadowgate: The Mines of Mythrock, and Book 1, I believe. Does it still? I can't remember if it still says whether it's Book 1 or not. It definitely called it that back in the day, and we've never had a Book 2, so that's something to be wary of. So this is basically the same game. I've not played it before, and it's basically an old school dungeon crawler, and it does feel old school. It does feel like an older game. Absolutely, it does. Now it's a bit of a weird one, because when we first got access to this, the notes said it ran at 120 hertz, and just looking at the video recordings, what I made, it was still 60 FPS frame paced correctly. Video was spot on. So yeah, there was performance issues in places. The new version, we got another email about it, about the release for it, and I noticed on the release email it mentioned 90 hertz. So I thought, oh, maybe they've lowered it to get some of the performance back. But no, this is, I would bet anything on it, this is still running at 120, because the video are recorded and then played back. It is smooth. It's frame paced correctly. It's not got that 45 FPS sort of, 45 FPS at 60 sort of look about it, what you end up getting on a, if you're playing something at 90 hertz.
It's not, unless it's because you're playing on a Pro. They've kept the Pro at 120. And
maybe the base PS5 runs at 90 then. I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Maybe. I don't know. But so the patch they brought out before they released it has cleared up some performance issues, because I was getting little bits of stutter and stuff in places. Those have gone, but there's a specific area you get to, and the frame rate still drops. It's not game breaking, you know what I mean? It's like in a sort of more of a specific area, but it's a large enough area that it's mildly annoying. So it's a shame. I think maybe even then they should have maybe dropped it to 90 hertz on Pro, if that had sorted it out. But yeah, it's an old school dungeon crawler. You've got a wand. You can shoot your fireballs out. You've got like a bird companion that you can ask for hints if you get stuck, and you work your way through. You solve puzzles. You shoot stuff. There are spiders in this, so if people don't like spiders, it might not be the game for you, because there's small ones and large ones. And it's nice in the fact that there's little bits where you do get the odd hidden sort of thing where, there'll be an item, and I started prodding something, and I pressed, and just at one point on it, I pressed it, and a hidden compartment opened up. What I could have missed. It's like, oh, that's good. It's like, it's like that exploration, the old school exploration, old school dungeon master. Go around clicking on the walls to try and find all the hidden stuff. But with the Raven, what you can do is you can go into whatever bird it is. You can go into that first person view from the bird's point of view, and it will highlight stuff. You can call it to perch on these pedestals. That seems to be a theme this month as well. There's another game that has you perching on pedestals. But yeah, and that's what it is. It's hard, it's hard to talk too much about it without giving spoilers. There's different things. There's a mine cart. It's fine. It just feels a bit old. The only real annoyance I had with it was I started, because you can play it teleport or smooth locomotion. So I started playing it straight from the off in smooth locomotion. Never gave it a second thought beyond that. I got to a point about was it an hour in, maybe an hour and a half in? I'm not sure. And I got stuck. I was trying to find where to go. I could see a couple of rooms where I needed to go. There's like these pillars rising out of a chasm. And I tried running across onto one of them because you can't jump. So I tried running quickly across and I fell off. And I don't know how long I spent on there wandering around until it suddenly dawned on me. I thought, hang on a minute. I went up to one and I went, teleport. And yes, the reason I got stuck was because at certain points you've got to teleport in order to do certain parts of the game, which is like, I don't know whether it should be obvious or not. It wasn't to me because I'd been playing up to that point in smooth locomotion. Any idea of teleporting was just totally out of my head.
I wonder if when it first came out on PC or whichever platform it came out, because it would have been PC, I'm sure, that it could have been a teleport-only game. Because I remember I played this on Quest. When it came out on Quest, I played it on that. And all I could really remember about it was what you said, Rog, that it felt old. It felt like a graphically improved version of Vanishing Realms, which is, 2016 game, and that's how it felt to me.
Yeah.
But Vanishing Realms was teleport only when that first came out, and I wonder if this was teleport only as well. And because of that, certain sections weren't communicated properly when they added in smooth locomotion. Maybe not, but that's it's a possibility for a game that was probably quite old when it came out on PC.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember because I made a video on this ages ago, and that's all I could remember about it, like being a graphically improved version of Vanishing Realms. That's what I remembered about it. And when I rewatched my video, it turns out I must have quite enjoyed it, I think. So and watching your video here as well, it's reminding me of certain parts of it. So yeah, I think it's not a bad game from what I remember anyway, but you've got to like that classic dungeon crawler type gameplay.
Yeah, if you're reaching for an old school dungeon crawler, then fine, give it a go. It's not overly expensive. I just looked, it's £15.99 on PSN. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
you can't. I won't complain about that. Yeah, absolutely worth it for that. But yeah, just know what you're getting, and it is a fairly sort of linear, go through a dungeon sort of game.
Yeah,
and yeah, that's what it is. But moving on to another game that's been resurrected from a long time ago, we've got Thief VR: Legacy of Shadow. Right, so we've all played this. We got a PC key for this, so no idea what it's like on Quest or on PSVR 2. Lee, do you want to kick this one off?
I mean, I didn't get to go on it till was it Thursday I had to go?
Right, yeah.
I was waiting for patches, weren't I?
Me and you were both waiting for the first main patch to drop to fix some problems.
I got a day one patch, and then it got a level one, I don't know, whatever, one patch or something. So I was waiting for that because I thought, I don't want to play a game that's buggy and I can't get through it. Because the thing with bugs is you get more frustrated. They just distract you from enjoying a good game. Now, I played like the tutorial level, which I think this is the one on the video, I'm not sure. And then I played the main first level, and I was in it for like 2 hours. And I really, really enjoyed this. I was like, oh my God, because I've got no affiliation or no love-hate relationship or anything with Thief games because I've never played any of them. So I don't know nothing about the characters or the lore. I was just going in to the game as it was. And yeah, I did hit like a weird bug with the door was sideways and it was like open, but it was shut. I couldn't get through it. And then I think I hit another bug where a door was locked on the other side. And when I went to open it, it had got like a big bolt lock like that. And that was already undone. So I thought that was weird. So I just moved it across and back, and then the door unlocked. So that was a little strange. But graphically, I think this looks really good. And I will mention as well, on my 3060, this runs fantastic. I can run it at 90 FPS, medium settings, no ASW, and it will hit 86 to 90 constantly. So I've got no issues with that. It's performance-wise, it runs really well. It looks really nice. Obviously, it's very dark because you're a thief in the night, stealing stuff. I did like the way you pickpocket. I thought, oh, I hate doing lock picks. You have to turn them to the right angles and stuff, and they always snap, and I'm garbage at them. I can't remember which game it is, what does it all the while, and I'm useless, so I don't do it. But I did like that in this. I love the storytelling to it. I did love the interactions, which if devs are listening or watching this, highly doubtful. Immersion is a massive part of VR. So going up to some candles and blowing them out kind of blew my mind a little bit. I was like, my God, why don't more devs do things like this? And the fact they can hear your voice as well, you can set it for immersive mode, so you can shout to the guards and they'll hear you and they'll come and look where you are. That's really, really good, really clever. And I kept thinking, this really reminds me of a game, and I can't remember what it is. And I was lying in bed last night about 11 o'clock, starting to drift off, and all of a sudden I went, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me a lot of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
so much so that when I came to the PC this morning, loaded up, I don't know if this is like for, I sort of manifested this, but there's actually a Steam sale on Assassin's Creed game. So I picked up Assassin's Creed Syndicate. You might have seen it added to the list on our Steam account. So I bought that because of it. And I did love the first level. I went in to do the second level this morning, and that's where it all went a little bit pear-shaped for me, Rog.
Yeah.
The difficulty seems to ramp up 1,000%. I don't know if it's just me or I just need to get good. I mean, on the first level, I never even used any arrows because you get like a really cool bow and arrow. And on this one, I was just dying constantly.
Yeah.
But I did manage to get into the house. But before that, my blow wasn't working. It wasn't picking me up for using the whistle, or it wasn't picking me up blowing candles out, because you can use your fingers like that to just like put the candles out. Yeah. So I couldn't call the bird. I could see the bloody magpie thing because it comes and brings you coins, don't it? So you can add it to your stash. And all these coins enable you to buy upgrades later on. And so I couldn't use that. I couldn't use the blow thing. So that's weird. And then I got into a point in the house, and all of a sudden it froze, and I thought, oh, what's happening? And it crashed. And I thought, okay, first level was really good. I hadn't really, like I said, no really real issues. And then the second one looks like it needs work. And then I've been and looked today, and there is another patch coming next week as well. It's going to fix things as well. So I might wait for that to see if that improves some of the little weird things that I encountered today. They weren't, I would say not game breaking, the blow and the whistle or whatever, but I couldn't call the magpie, so that annoyed me.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I do like sneaking around, smacking the guards and stuff like that. I did really enjoy. I was quite surprised at how much I did enjoy it. I was thinking I wasn't going to like it. So yeah, I really like it.
I would have to put the very original Thief. If I ever made an all-time favorite top 10 list, the original Thief would have to be on there. So yeah, I was looking forward to this, and it does. Yeah, it gets it right. I think in the sense of reminding you what the old games were like, or the original game was like. But there are problems. There's definite problems. Like you mentioned, the doors. I think you've had problems with them as well, Gary. But there was one. I was on the third level. And one of the issues I had, there was a door, it was bolted, and managed to find, it was, in all honesty, it was just a way back out, opening a quick way through back out. But I'd had issues up to that point as well. But anyway, I grabbed the bolt, slid the bolt to the side, opened the door, and then I think I bumped the door and it shut the door again. But something weird happened, and the bolt, instead of sort of remaining just in the metal latch that holds it, the bolt had teleported about 1.5 foot to this right-hand side, so it was just floating in the middle of the door. But for some reason, that then registered the door as being locked, and I couldn't get through it. Up to that point, on that third level, I'd been okay as far as bugs were concerned, but then I had one where suddenly the haptics on my left controller just wouldn't stop. It started buzzing, and I had to shut the entire thing down and reload it to stop the haptics from going off. Again, I've left all my notes on my other PC. A few things had happened on that level that had caused me to have to reload the level, and then that thing happened with the door, and it was like, I'm just, oh God, why have we got another game where it's just there's blatant stuff happening? And you played it before the patch, didn't you, Gary? I think you finished it, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I finished it last night, and for me, so I played up to level 5. There's only 7 levels, including the tutorial in this game. It's not a long game. It took me about just over 5 hours to play through this. But taking into account the fact that I had to replay multiple missions again due to bugs in this. So just to be positive, to start off on a positive, I do like the game, and I'm glad I've played it. And if they get the bugs resolved, I'm actually happy to recommend this game for the price it's going for, because I think they priced it about correct, based on sort of, a 5 hour long game for that 20, what is it, just over £20, I think it is.
It's 25 quid. I think it was a little bit cheaper before launch.
Right, okay, yeah. So, yeah, probably slightly on the high side. If it was £20, I'd probably be happy. I'd recommend it a bit more, but 25 is okay. The problem is that I played most of the game before that patch, and even after the patch, I still suffered bugs anyway. So I don't know if that's resolved bugs specifically, because some of the patch notes didn't mention some of the issues that we'd had. And you've spoken about the doors. The doors are one of the sort of the hot points for bugs in this game. So just a quick couple of stories for me for my door issues. I was going through an area, and then there's a double door section, and it's closed, but it's open. Like I could go through it. I know it's one that I can just go through, and one of the doors is just not there. So I think, okay, well, I'll sneak past this guard and go straight through that open gap where the door is not there. It won't let me pass. So the hitbox of the door is there. The door model is not there. So anyway, I managed to glitch my way in somehow into that room. And then I can see the door at an angle glitched into the other door. So it's like it's just been positioned. Yeah, it's positioned wrong.
From outside, the thing with mine is they were short, but when I went inside, imagine a 15, 20 foot arced door like that, sideways in midair.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell's going on there? How can you not notice that when you're playing a game? But then, is it something to do with virtual desktop causing these issues? I mean, I don't know, because you'd think the devs would see that straight away.
Well, I've played
desktop can cause issues, right?
I've played this on virtual desktop on Quest, but then I've also played a fair amount of it on PSVR 2 as well on PC. And one of the things I'll say is it looks a lot better on PSVR 2 in terms of the colours than on the Quest. And I think that's one of the things as well. Let me just get this other door story, because this is the most important one, actually.
Yeah,
one of the annoying things with this is there's either a bug, or it's been designed in a way where you can't save your progress through a level if you want to quit out and go back in. You have to start the level from the beginning again. Now, some people are saying that you can start a level, you can save at checkpoints in the level.
Yeah.
And it has happened to me.
It does work for me, that.
Right. It doesn't work for me most of the time, but then it has worked for me twice. Right. And so it's bizarre. But anyway, so it's frustrating if you do have a crash, or you have a bug where you can't progress anymore and you can't start again at that checkpoint. But what's happened with me is I was going up to this door where you've not got a key for it, and a guard went past this door, and I knocked him out, and he fell into the door and glitched the door out. So it actually opened. It didn't fall, it just opened. And I could walk through into this thing, and I thought, well, I shouldn't really be in here yet. I've not got the key, I've not progressed, so I might have not done other stuff. So what I'll do, I'll just reload the previous checkpoint. I reloaded the checkpoint, and what it had done is, as I went into that room, it saved a new checkpoint. So when I reloaded it, I was in this closed off room, no way out, and I couldn't get out because I didn't have the key. It locked the door again behind me. So once again,
that's what you get for being a little cheat, Gary.
Yeah. So once again, start the level from the beginning, and that's the problem. That's the kind of problems I've had in this game. I've had to restart levels again and again. So that 5.3 hours, I think it was, you could probably knock a good half hour off that to play through the game, I would say. But just quickly going back to the PSVR 2 versus the Quest. One of the things in the Quest when you play this game is the dark areas are really not just dark. You can't see any detail in them, and it's just irritating, really. Certain parts of it are really irritating. So I've played this on Steam Link, and I've played it on Virtual Desktop on the Quest. Yeah. Virtual Desktop is better if you turn off that. There's a setting called... Go on.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say there's a specific area, because when I went through and recorded some video, there was one section on the very first level on the tutorial sort of first mission that was utter blackness. You couldn't see anything. With the patch and with that option to, I've forgotten the name of it now. Increase
colours beyond optimal range, I think, something like that. You need that to be disabled.
You've got to turn that off. It makes a massive difference to visibility in Quest on this game anyway. But yeah, it was okay after that. I think some areas still are a little bit dark, but with the patch and with that option
I think that's one of the things they fixed in the patch, right? Because when I played it, I didn't have any issues with the dark areas or anything like that at all. I could see them fine. It was dark, don't get me wrong, but
I went in last night on Steam Link, and there were some areas that were ridiculously bad. I couldn't see any detail at all, and I think that might be how Steam Link is delivering it rather than the Virtual Desktop. You know, the colours vary between these streaming applications that you use as well. But if you play on PSVR 2 on PC, it looks great. The blacks are really black, but you can see detail in the black areas as well. That's the difference. It's that you can still see, even though it's dark. But interestingly, I've not played the PSVR 2 version on PS5, but from the reports I've heard on that, it's got an issue with the black areas not appearing black, like they've not implemented HDR or something on that platform. Again, I'm talking sort of from secondhand news here. Just reports from other reviews and things like that I've seen. So it's interesting that on PC, the black levels really are great, and yet on the PS5, they're not for whatever reason, depending on how it's being rendered. But yeah, I mean, so bugs aside, I do like the game as a whole, and I think you can complain about the AI, and I don't think it's great or anything like that, but I think it's okay, it's passable, and it does remind me of just the AI in the old 1997 game, whenever that was, 97, 98.
Yeah, the AI does seem old. I will say that. But yeah, like you say, if the bugs weren't there, I'd absolutely love this, I think, because there's a lot of nostalgia there for me, and they've done a good enough job in that regard for me, that I'd have played through it now. There was just so much going, sort of little things. It's always little things, but there were enough little things that added up.
Yeah.
That it was like, I just can't play this at the moment. I need it working properly.
Well, if it's not saving your checkpoints and then it crashes, or you get to a bug and you can't progress, it's just, what are you supposed to do with that, really, other than get frustrated? So
I would say wait for the next patch or the patch after, see what happens.
But I thought it looked great, though. I mean, I'm watching this now, and I wanted to get back in, and it's hard when I've only got one key. But when it loads up, I was like wowed by how great it looks.
Yeah,
every time you load
I can't
a level,
remember whether it's the second or third level. I was crouched behind some boxes, so I don't know whether I was a bit out of the way somewhere, but the textures on them were awful, and even it was a crate. And even then, it looked a little bit odd. It looked like it was a very low level of detail option for a crate that should have been 200 yards in the distance, But generally speaking, I think it looks fine. If they can get rid of the bugs, just tidy up the odd texture here and there, and I'd recommend it if you're a fan of the old Thief games. There's enough there to hit that, the old nostalgia neurons, definitely.
I mean, I've not played these, so sticking you right at the beginning and you've got like a giant house or something, it's right, you've got to get to that room there, off you go. Well, I don't know what to do. So you have to, there's all various routes you can go and different ways you can take, and I really like that.
But you don't seem to really make much use out of the arrows. The original games,
I never used them on the first level.
They made a big deal in the original games out of using, especially the fire and the water arrows, to sort of to give yourself sort of hidey areas. And the rope arrow as well. I mean, I can't undersell how amazing that was in the first games, where you had a bow where you could shoot into in the original game, you could shoot into any wooden surface and create a climbable rope.
Right.
That had never been done in any game before. That was a free form sort of, element that was amazing back in the day. In this game, it's set points. There's set points where you can use a rope arrow.
You've got like a little bit of rope hanging down, and you think, "Oh right, I can fire a rope one up there and get some gold or whatever."
It was a wooden windowsill. You could whack a rope arrow into it and climb up.
Yeah, I got stuck on that level. This is why it took me 2 hours, by the way. And spoiler alert, so don't listen to this bit. I'd killed every single, well, not killed, but knocked out all these guards. Did these guards wake up, by the way? Because they're just all fast asleep.
If another guard sees them, then he'll wake them up.
Oh, right.
Yeah, another guy can wake another one up.
I decimated every guard. I found a note that says, there's a guard on lower floor that's got a key to this door you need to unlock up some stairs. So I thought, I must have missed it then. So then I went around looking past everywhere outside, looking for the key on this guard. And it was only by accident that I walked into this fireplace type thing, and just to see if I could get up this grill. And as I turned my head, I saw these little things that you could climb up. And on this, usually when you play a game, they're like bright yellow. So you've got bright yellow paint on things, haven't you? So you know where to climb. On this, it's white. Yeah. So I thought, I've got to go up there, have it. And that's when I fell through, find that weird eyeball thing with that bloke who talks like this when he's talking to you. And I presume he's been in the other games. Is it Gerald? Something like that? Garrett, yeah. I mean, some of the voice acting is really good. And I'm not slagging this voice actor off, you know what I mean? But it just seemed a bit out of place to have him going, yes, we're now going to go and take this and do that. And they're going, all right, then we're going there to do this then, are we? And it's like, what the hell is going off? It sounds a lot like the woman from who was Doctor Who. So if you're from, I don't know if they put actors from Sheffield, or she seems very local, like she could be on my street, and they just grabbed her to do the voiceover. So that seemed a little out of place to me.
What's her name? Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah.
Is it Jodie Whittaker?
Yeah, it sounds a bit like that.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
It's I'm not entirely sure they've cast the right person as the main character. It does, with Garrett, compared to Garrett, it does make it sound, there is a weird disconnect. They just
threw me with like, yes, I'm Garrett. I've been in here a long time. All right then, Garrett, and we're going now. Let's go.
Yeah. Would you like salt and vinegar on your chips?
Yeah. So, but apart from that, no, I really enjoyed it. Like I say, hopefully this patch sorts it out, and I really want to play some more of this. Also, give me that PC VR fix that I don't very often get because the performance is so good on my PC. So it made me think, oh God, PC VR is really nice. I really miss it.
I will say, because some of the other things that people have mentioned about this is how the combat is awful, like really bad, and this is like a stealth game, like the original stealth game. Yeah. And if you've got into combat, you failed basically. Yeah, it's not.
They axed me.
It's like a Hail Mary. That's like a Hail Mary, the combat. I mean, I wouldn't say it's difficult to necessarily kill. You block them 3 times and then whack them over the head. Although the parry doesn't always work effectively I think there's some issues around that as well, but that's separate. But yeah, it's like a last resort. You're supposed to avoid that at all costs. It's not about the combat. And exactly, the original wasn't either. No, I'd never played a game. When I first played the original Thief, I'd never played a stealth game. I never knew that was a concept. I never knew that was a thing. And maybe this was the first one, or Metal Gear Solid was the first one. I think
I looked this up the other week because I was a bit curious about it. I think they came out the same year.
Same time, I think
Metal Gear might have been a month or 2 before, but they were basically in development at the same time.
Yeah.
So Metal Gear and Thief were 2 of the really big first stealth games, I'd say.
And when I played this, because I did play it when it first came out, I think I played a bit of the second one, but the first one is the one I remember playing all the way through anyway. And like I say, I'd never played a game like that, and I was completely besotted with it. I loved it back in the day. So I think there's an aspect of that which you've probably already touched on, Rog, with that nostalgia and it being close enough that you get that anyway. So there's probably that plays a little bit into why I do think this is a good game. But it just needs these bugs sorting out big time.
Yeah, it's if they can sort the bugs out, then it'll get a thumbs up and a recommend. But I would wait until they've patched it again.
It kind of got me, like I said, it got me back into thinking about Assassin's Creed. I mean, I've only played like the second and third one, I think, or there's a Brotherhood one or something like that. But it just got me thinking about the time, like you're going through all NPCs and you're just trying to blend in or something, and there'll always be one that gets in your way, and you're just like, oh, you know what? Get out of my way. And then, the guy, you try and blend in a bit more, you turn around, the guard's there looking at this dead body on the floor. I think there's a word for that. Is that someone who likes things like, is it psychopath? I'm not sure.
I think that's probably about right.
But I used to, like doing that in Assassin's Creed.
But anyway, Thief VR, Legacy of Shadow, it's out on PC, Quest, and PSVR 2. I think that's all we've been actually playing over the past. I think it's only been 3 weeks, hasn't it, since the last one? I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
News-wise, or sort of random bits we've picked up anyway. G Rebels. Now, I don't know if you remember playing G Police back in the day on PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I played it on PC. It came out on PC as well.
Oh, right, okay. So I vaguely remember the PlayStation 1 version. I've got a feeling it was one of those games that didn't quite run as well as I wanted it to, or I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was anyway. I've seen a few people say this is more going to be sort of like a spiritual sort of successor. So they've basically taken the idea of G Police, and this is G Rebels. It was previously announced as a flat game. Due out next year, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it's a release date. But they have announced that a VR mode will be there for PC when it releases. So this could be one. This could really get there before. What's Blair's game called?
Lo-fi. Lo-fi
that's
at this
point.
Question.
Yeah. So this is, I think it's an Unreal Engine game, and I'm pretty sure that I'm almost certain PD's done a video on this with UEVR, the flat version. G Rebels, I'm sure this is the one because I tried it as well, and there was a demo, and you could try this in UEVR. And I went in, and I didn't speak about it on the show or anything like that. I only went in for a little bit just to try it, but I just couldn't get the performance going. You know, it was just really, really bad performance in it. So that was just put me off really pursuing it really. But if they're doing an official VR version and they can optimize it for VR, then yeah, I'd definitely be interested, because I did like the original G Police, and this looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep, it looks like it could be a replacement for Air Car. You never know.
You never know, yeah.
But that's what we want, isn't it? All we keep saying is, can we get some sort of Air Car game with like a really decent story to it?
Yeah.
And we'll all buy that.
Yeah,
so they do listen.
I don't just want that. I don't just want to fly around the city. I want to be able to land and walk around the streets and stuff. I want GTA in Air Car. That's what I want.
GT Air Car. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Guardians Planetfall. Again, another one announced for next year. I never played Guardians Frontline. I think I do own it now.
I played Guardians Frontiers, but I never played that one.
Is it Frontier?
No, I'm joking. That's the name that I kept calling it all the time, and I got it wrong.
Whatever it was called.
Yeah, I played it. It was all right.
Yeah.
Hard.
I've never. Yeah, I never played it. I think it's one of the bundles we'll mention in a bit. But I think maybe. I've definitely had hold of it recently, but yeah, never played the first one. So yeah, 4-player co-op game looks like it could be fun. So
yeah, I like the look of it. I mean, the other one's done really well. It's very much. It's kind of like Starship Trooperish.
Okay,
I think I
like Starship Troopers. I thought that were a good game.
Yes, Starship Troopers is great.
It looked a bit pants, but
but the gameplay was great, right?
The gameplay was great. Yeah, the gameplay was really good.
When you were dead, that your bloke were dead. To get another one in and start again. I really like that. Did we play that this year or last year? Was it this year?
Last year, I think. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it might have
been.
Don't know. Really? Man, that's so good.
That's shocking.
Yeah,
if it is last year, that's shocking.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Because it's got like generated missions and things to do on this, hasn't it? And so it looks,
Yeah.
I like the look of it.
Yep. I have to check it out when it comes out. Another sort of like a big name title, what sort of dropped from nowhere, is The Boys Trigger Warning. I had no idea about this one, so I'm assuming this is like another Men in Black type thing where they've suddenly just announced it. Next year, though, so it's not as if they've mentioned it and then they're releasing it the following month. Any fans of The Boys here? I know the last series is
I love it, yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
This is by the
April,
Pixel Ripped people, isn't it? The
Avor.
Is it Avori or Avor?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How do you pronounce it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen all the episodes of The Boys. Quite like it. Well, I liked it originally. I don't know. Maybe it's I'm losing a bit of interest in it. But yeah, I've watched them all anyway. So maybe not that much.
Do itself, don't it? It's like what can we do now to make everybody go, oh my god?
Yeah.
And it's one of those.
How do you kick somebody off of YouTube? I'm sorry. Philo said I tried the first Thief game with a texture patch about 10 years ago and got bored. That's an instant ban. That's an instant ban, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Final warning ban.
I mean, I've not played it, so I don't know.
But yeah, no, I do like The Boys.
Did you say what you are in The Boys? Are you a separate superhero, or do you get to play with any of the others, or do we know actually what it is apart from just a trailer of showing you a few bits?
It's not real. It's a new character. You play a new character, as far as from what I've seen.
Right.
It has got returning characters in it, and I think they have got some of. Is it this one? I think they said they've got some of the original voice actors as well.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't think they've really said very much. So I don't know. Say it's next year. PSVR 2 and Quest though. No PC mentioned, which is. But there you go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the final series anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure it's April because it got announced the other week, didn't it? I think.
Yeah. And anyway, last on the list, I think might be going for a short episode. Star Citizen VR support. Gary, this one should be right up your alley, shouldn't it? Like Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky, Star Citizen. Surely you've put thousands of hours into this already.
Yeah, it's definitely up my street. I've been aware of it for a long time, but I've never really jumped in. This is one I've definitely looked at on the sidelines. Just to say, this is Tyriel's video as well that I'm showing here, because he went in and played a little bit of the early VR support for this. So this is the big news, the fact that Star Citizen, a game which has been in development for 12, 13 years, something like that, has raised about almost $1 billion in revenue from sales and Kickstarter and all these other things. I mean, investments as well. But it's still not out. It's still in alpha. And they're still working on a single player, but they've announced that they are now implementing official VR support into this game, something that they did promise back in the day as well, I think, when it first went on the Kickstarter.
The very first sort of like alpha release of this, well, the very first, well, I'll say the first one, but very close to one of the original releases, did have VR support. And if you look back on one of my very early videos, you know, from like, is it 12 years ago, 13 years, or however long it is, on the DK1, was Star Citizen wandering around the hangar.
Oh, right.
Bizarrely, it did something weird because somebody was moaning at me. I remember in the comments saying, "You've swapped the eyes around. It's not right." No, I didn't. It's just that they were rendering it incorrectly. But bizarrely, the scale still worked, even though it made your eyes hurt. But it was really something to see back then, back in those days. That sort of quality, those quality graphics, you know, as you stood underneath and looked around your ship, it was amazing.
I should have used your video as well.
It looks great, doesn't it? It looks great. I mean, it really does interest me, and I know it's been going around for years and that. It's just the pay structure that puts me off.
Yeah,
and I think it's like £45, isn't it, Gary, for the base game? But
I think
you can pay £46,000, so it's entirely up to you.
Yeah, you get like these starter packs and stuff, and then I've been watching a few videos on it recently because I don't know hardly anything about it other than, you know, what I've seen it heard in passing, really, and because it is a game that does interest me, but mainly I want it for the single player campaign, Squadron 42, which is still in development. It's now estimating it might come out in 2028, the single player campaign on this. So I've never really dived in. I did once go into like a free weekend because they do have these free weekends now and again with this. So I'm thinking about picking up a starter pack for about 40 quid or whatever it is. Or I might just wait for a free weekend and see how that goes just to test the VR side of things. It's a weird one because it's almost exactly the kind of game that I want to play, because it's not just a space game. You go onto all these planets. It's got these full cities, like we were just talking about G-Police and Aircar and those kinds of things. This has got fully rendered cities that you can land in and walk around the streets in and do all of these different things on various different planets. So yeah. I've been watching all these different YouTube videos about what you can do in the game at this moment in time. And a lot of it's very similar to Elite Dangerous. You do mining, you do trading, or you can do these first person shooter type missions as well on the ground. So there's a lot of game there. I'm always a little bit hesitant to go into these that are still alpha level kind of games. And especially this one because it's fully multiplayer. You know, I think they have something like 600 people per server on this game as well. Wow. So they've got all these separate servers and they allow hundreds of people to play in a persistent universe, which in itself is pretty incredible. So yeah, when the game finally gets some kind of 1.0 release, that's really what I'm holding off for. But I don't know. I'm tempted just to pick it up and see what it's all about now.
See, I picked this up back when, because this basically started crowdfunding for this when Elite Dangerous initially did as well. Right. And I picked them both up. I can't remember the last time I even looked at Star Citizen. It might be at least 2 graphics cards ago now. So, you know, maybe I should have a look and see what it runs like. It might be okay flat, but I'm not holding out hopes that VR performance is going to be particularly great.
Well, Tyriel's video, I mean, you can tell. I mean, he mentioned in the video there's definite performance issues. You can see in his video there is as well. I don't know what card he's using, although he is using the Samsung XR headset there, which is probably running at high resolution as well. So I don't know. You just expect it not to run well, this kind of game. That's the thing.
Yeah, but at least if they're putting official VR support in, there might actually be sort of like, you know, VR sort of set options to try and get it to run okay.
Yeah, hope so.
Yeah.
And but just quickly as well, some of the details that Tyriel went in. He's playing mouse and keyboard, so you can play on gamepad, but it's not got any motion controller support or anything like that at this moment in time. But they have said they're going to add that in
Okay.
So it's all going to be, seems to like it's going to be full VR at some point. They're working on their own timescale, so God knows when that will be. But even just to play the game with a gamepad or a HOTAS stick when you fly in would be great.
Yeah.
It's more than Elite did, unfortunately, for the on foot sections.
That's once is it Horizons when it
Odyssey,
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. That's when I stopped playing. It was it's a shame. I do miss playing that, I must admit.
Oh, that reminds me actually. Gary, have you done the second puzzle yet on Chernobyl?
No. Can't be bothered, mate.
All right.
No, I meant yes. Sorry, yes, I have done it, yeah. I did it in about 5 minutes.
Across and I'll get 100 hours in Elite Dangerous and become a pro.
Yeah. I'll send it across and I'll put it on a floppy disk and send it to you in the post.
Well, I'll become a pro at the tutorial mission because I can't even fly between those giant rings that you have to keep flying between and stuff like that. So I suck as a pilot.
Oh man, I remember this is going back. Oh, good grief, this is going back a long time as well. I put my dad into Elite Dangerous with the HOTAS, and he actually managed to go through the training section of taking off, flying out the space station, going through hyperspace, finding the other space station, and then landing.
Oh, yeah.
My dad
did well then.
My dad's gaming career began with Space Invaders and ended with the Galaxians, and even he managed to do that.
I've seen people play it, and it does look awesome. I think I watched one person where they flew to the Voyager 2, was it?
Oh yeah, that's in the game. Yeah,
I call something like that off it.
Yeah,
I saw that. I mean, that's really that amazed me that you could do things like that. But
they've got loads of little bits like that in there. Yeah.
It's just something I probably would sink into, but like you say, it's all the mining and trying to work out and you watch YouTube videos and say, right, do this first, do that first, do this mining, trade this, do that. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's just blown my mind. It's like a full-time job.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I've been waiting for so long for Squadron 42 for the single player part of it. That's really what I wanted more than anything. And it's like maybe it'll turn up one day.
You never know. Yeah, 2028. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Like the new Quest 4 headset, allegedly.
Oh, we didn't put that down, did we? But there's the whole thing about Meta have once again, surprisingly, shock horror pivoted, and their lightweight headset with the puck is now apparently being canned, and now they're concentrating on Quest 4 instead.
According to the headset. I
don't
why
know.
that is.
I think it's been postponed, hasn't it? It's not necessarily been canned because that was the Puffin one, and then they changed the name to Phoenix now with apparently. So it's still I don't know what will end up happening, but then again they don't really either. So
could pivot again.
Yeah.
It depends what somebody brings out next year. They might want to copy that as well. I mean, Meta used to innovate, right? But now to me they just replicate what other folks are doing. Like the UI on V83, that's absolutely horrendous, and they're trying to copy Apple. My God, it's shocking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good luck. I hope this headset comes out and it's got foveated and it's got eye tracking, it's got all this stuff, it's got OLEDs, and it's 800 quid, whatever. Yeah, fine. I'll probably pick one up.
This is a thing, isn't it? From all the leaks and everything, what they've been saying, it sounds like the days of subsidising the headsets might be over, and the Quest 3 might be going up in price as well, which would be surprising. It's not the first time they'll put a headset up before. So
no.
Plus all this, trade and all this. You don't know what's going to happen, do you? But like I said, this is supposed to be in 2028, right? We'll see if it happens. Who knows?
I think they said late 2027 at the earliest, and then probably more likely 2028.
I mean, they've gone from 1 week of we're not having a Quest 4, we're like canning it for so many years, and we're doing this puck thing, to the next week. Well, it's after Steam Frame gets announced, it's actually, you know what? We are going to do a Quest 4 now. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
They're definitely giving Valve enough time, aren't they, to get the foot in the door? That's for certain.
Exactly, yeah.
But on a sort of
happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah. On a more positive news, there's a couple of good bundles about at the moment. The first one's the UploadVR Winter Showcase Humble Bundle, which for just over 15 quid gets you Hellsweeper, Ghost of Tabor, Expect You to Die 3, Zone of Origin, Metal Hellslinger, After the Fall Deluxe Edition, Guardians Frontline, there we go, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and Fisherman's Tale 2, which for like just over 15 quid is a bit of a bargain. even if you've got half of them, it's still cheap. I'm sure there's more than one of us here who's paid more than that just for one of those titles at some point in the past.
I mean, A Fisherman's Tale 2 is worth that on its own, right, Gary?
Absolutely, yeah. My daughter's played through that. She played through that twice now. In fact, I had to buy the first Fisherman's Tale on Quest because she loved the second one so much. I said, "Oh, there's obviously an original," so she was asking for that. She's played through that multiple times as well. So yeah, she's a big fan. So she's got great taste. Rog.
Yeah, perfect. Rog?
Yeah, no, not really.
Oh dear.
But yeah, there's also a Fantatical bundle on at the moment, which is a build your own bundle. So 17 games, including Seventh Guest, Yuki, Light Brigade, and a load of others. The thing being that I think you have to buy a minimum of 3 games.
It drops the value. It drops it down to £9.
£3.33 each. So basically, you're paying a tenner for the first 3 games, and sort of like for each. I don't know how many games you add on after that to the bundle. It drops the overall price of each game. I can't remember what else there was. I did put like an image in there for Gary to put on the screen so we could see what games were on there, but I think he's forgot.
It should be. It's on the screen. It's on the screen now.
I can see it.
Oh, is it? I'm looking at the wrong screen. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
I can see it.
I'm looking.
I mean, again, Seventh Guest is worth £10 on its own. So
I'm so pro.
Pick 2 more up with that, and it's a good idea that you can just pick which ones you want. I quite like that idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's too small. I can't even. Oh man, I can't even see what's on there.
That's what she said.
But yeah, if you like arcade shooters, Yuki's really good. I really liked that. It's been a few years since I played that now. Ruins Magus is on there as well, which is the one before that. That was that other game we were talking about the other week.
Yeah, that we want to play.
Fiona something. Fiona.
Yeah, that you. Yeah.
Knights of Fiona. So I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, have a look. A good few bargains on there anyway. But apart from that, anybody got anything else? We're only at an hour and a half. What's going on?
I mean, has anyone got any questions? I've asked this before, right? I put it out there, didn't I? So shall I ask if anyone's got any questions for any of us individually or collectively or about anything? If you want to ask us in the comments, you can do that now, and then we'll read a few out. And obviously not with favourite cheese and things like that, because mine's Red Leicester, by the way. But we'll try and answer what we can, and gives the audio podcast something to listen to as well. But yeah, the audio podcast, by the way, is I'm slowly uploading them all, so you will have the entire back catalogue on there on Spotify as well. Slightly edited some of the beginning and endings. You might get a few bonus things on there. So please go give us a 5-star review on that, or that would really help. And then it gets it out there to a few more people that might not have known about the podcast otherwise.
Thank you for the 20 or so people who've actually subscribed since the last one. we were stuck on 614, I think.
Thanks to all the new people coming in. Probably because Steve came on and we spoke about the Steam Deck. And hopefully this Christmas one hasn't put you off and you still say subscribed, even though I look like an elf. It's just a one-off thing.
Did you guys watch? I didn't, but did you watch the Game Awards or anything to do with that?
Yeah.
You did watch
the highlights this morning. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've still not seen highlights or anything.
VR Game of the Year, blah blah, whatever it was. I can't remember what it's called. Okay, next. No footage, no nothing. It's like, all right then. Midnight Walk, wasn't it? Something like that.
Midnight Walk.
Game that all three of us haven't played. Is that right?
No, I've still not played it.
And that one, Game of the Year, everyone. So
I know
listen to our podcast, like and subscribe.
Yeah, some people have been moaning about it because it was a flat game with a VR mode.
Yeah.
And it was VR Game of the Year, so that's not made. Yeah.
Well, I meant to ask, how do you pay to be? I'm sorry. How do people vote for the winner on that?
They have some industry experts apparently. They have a group of people. So, for example, I think Jeff Gersman, who used to be on Giant Bomb, he's one of the people that rates. I don't know if they do all categories or if they just do some categories, and that's my understanding of how they do it. So some of these people that have been involved in the industry for a long time, they make a vote for the nominations and for the winners. I assume that's how it works.
The actual nomination was an open one. You could go on and vote, but it's like who decides what goes on there in the first place.
I mean, I can't comment on the game because I've not played it, so I don't know. But
this is true.
I mean, some people have other favourites, but it's nice of them to even get a category and vote on it, I guess. So
Yeah,
Well,
but yeah, it's like some of the categories they went through really quickly. Some of them, they had the people up on stage, they were showing videos and whatever. And then with some of them, it was like, oh yeah, best VR game, Midnight Walk, and then that was it. That was literally it. It was all
It was
5.
like 3 seconds, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Tomb Raider games were two Tomb Raider games that piqued my interest because they're more like Drake's 14, aren't they, these days?
Well,
but
yeah.
they look really
there's
good.
an
And they're
actual-
Unreal, right? Unreal 5 as
Yeah,
well.
there's a remake of the very first game, isn't there? There's a brand new game coming out, but then the Atlantis one is a remake of the very original game.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, the first one.
I didn't realise that.
You know, it's the T-Rex, they've put feathers on it because that's
I wondered
now
why. I thought, now it's all making absolute sense now.
Feathers,
You know, they've got T-Rex in like the other game.
I'm sort of looking forward to. I'm sort of interested in that one. Proper.
Onakazi just said, when we were talking about who actually picks the winners and stuff like that, or nominations, whatever, and he said, the industry people, the problem is that most mainstream gaming personalities don't pay much attention to VR. And that's true, because I know for a fact that Jeff Gerstmann was, at least at one time, one of the people that was involved in the Game Awards, casting votes and who should win and stuff. And he's got no interest in VR anymore. I mean, they back in 2016 on Giant Bomb, they played the launch that, like, they had a live stream of about 5 hours long of the original Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive. And in fact, there's a meme of him, the guy who's got the Oculus red patch around his face. That's Jeff Gerstmann, and that came from one of those streams. But you listen to him talk about VR now, he really hasn't got any interest in it whatsoever. And a lot of people are like that as well. That's the thing. They focus on the mainstream games and they talk about VR in passing, and they've really not got any idea what they're talking about when it comes to that. I don't think, anyway.
You notice there's a couple of new Star Wars games coming out. One of them's an RPG. Is it I don't know if it's Fate of the Old Republic or something like that. But there's a pod racing game. Well, a racing game coming out as well. So if that's Unreal Engine 5, there might be I
think they are. So if you've got, a nice beefy 5090, you might be able to get 30 FPS out on them.
Yeah.
The old UE5 stuff. I can't even run UE5 on my PC. I'm not talking about UEVR. I'm on about in general. I mean, I couldn't run Silent Hill 2. That's UE5, right? It wouldn't run it.
I've never played a Silent Hill game.
No, I haven't either. That's why I wanted to play that. But it was like a slideshow. So I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I lowered everything to low. Nope, nothing. Not having none of it.
Well, the Game Awards were showing it it was something like 1 o'clock in the morning here, weren't there, for about 3 or 4 hours. So I woke up the following day thinking I was really excited to hear all of this Half-Life 3 stuff that was going to be announced. That's what I was waiting for. But somebody posted, apparently, somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody who has some kind of insight into the industry anyway, was talking on Twitter and saying the reason that Half-Life 3 won't now get announced this year, but is still due to come out with the Steam machine, it's just because of the RAM prices. They're saying they don't want to take a risk of announcing something that they can't deliver, when they say. So it's all to do with RAM prices now that we've not got a Half-Life 3 announcement. I don't know. The thing is, they're undoubtedly working on Half-Life 3, a Half-Life 3 game. They have been in the past. There's no question about that. That's fact. But it's just when it finally gets announced, or even if they decide at the end, say no, it's not good enough, and just shelve it again, or something like that.
Do you think we'd have played Half-Life 2 when it comes out, Gary, or not? Because it's been 20 odd years and we still haven't finished it.
Well, I have been plucking away at it a little bit, actually. Half-Life 2, the VR mod. So I am slowly working my way through it. It's a good game.
Well, the important thing with the Game Awards anyway. The important thing with the Game Awards was Expedition 33 took Game of the Year, and pretty much a lot of the other stuff it was nominated for anyway.
It broke records, didn't it? On the number.
Deserved it. Most nominated game ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I find most remarkable out of that? When the lead dev went on stage to collect, and he thanked all the YouTubers that put out videos on how to make a game because they didn't know how to make a game. And they won Game of the Year. So
now there's a few of, I think there's a few of them there who had come from previous studios, but a majority of the people who worked at that studio,
it was the voice actors on Reddit, right? They put questions out on Reddit for the voice actors and that. That's how they got the.
Well, that's where the musician.
The voice acting is amazing.
Yeah. is it Lorien Testard who did the music? He was just some guy on SoundCloud. Who was making music that sort of he thought sounded like video game music, and he's got like they got the award for the music there as well.
I might try after I've moved. I might try and get into that a little bit because I only played the first part of it, and it's just the fantasy element, the music, and the. I mean, I was like literally in tears at the first part. I was like, "What? Is everybody dead? What's going on? I'm watching."
Well, that was
just the beginning of the game.
I think that the music is really good. I played the first 6 hours of it because I got Game Pass for a month. So I thought Rog keeps banging on about this game, so I'm going to give it a try. And yeah, I did enjoy it. I've got to say, I did enjoy it. And that part at the beginning where you first get to the island, that's the bit that gets you hooked, I think. Once you've got through the preamble at the beginning and you get to the island, that's when it all kicks off. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I finished it, and it's Even then afterwards, I thought I'd really explored everything. And then I watched some videos afterwards, and it's like, oh wow, there's plenty of stuff I didn't even know was there.
How long did it take you to finish, Rog? Out of interest.
Oh, good grief! We can't remember. I know at one point I hit the 60-hour mark, and it might have been anywhere from 60 to 100 hours.
Oh right, yeah. Because some people have been saying, I've heard some people say that like to mainline it, you probably took about 30 hours, something like that. Maybe
if you mainlined just the story, yes, you could.
Yeah,
absolutely, you could. But it does a bit of a Final Fantasy VII thing. If you remember on the PlayStation, the third disc on Final Fantasy VII on PS1, you could basically go straight to the end of the game.
Right.
But you also had the rest of the world where you could go back and a load of new stuff opened up, and it does that. It opens up so much more. Didn't
it sell like 55 million copies? Is it that one? Or 50 million copies?
It's probably sold a lot because at one point I know they put a tweet out. I think once it hit 33 million.
I mean, that's not bad going, is it?
No,
it's all right, isn't it?
They've done all right. Yeah,
you don't have to worry about putting the heating on over Christmas.
For your first game that you sell at what was it, $39.99? The normal price?
I think it's on sale at minute for like 20 odd quid.
And you've been able to buy it unloaded for just over 20 quid for ages. Yeah. They weren't greedy. They put out an amazing game, and they deserve everything they get for it now.
Oh, Steve says he got 40 hours reported on Steam. I think he's finished it from what he was saying earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, I am absolutely burning in this stupid jumper that I've got on. So if we can...
I wanted to check. I've seen you swigging from a bottle. Is that a wine bottle or is it just like a cider bottle?
No, it's just a cider bottle, yeah. I don't generally swig from a wine bottle.
Because the screen's so small and I'm like, is Gary drinking from a wine bottle? It must be that bad already.
I'm just a giant. Yeah, no, it's just...
it's nearly empty now. I've got my RCM glass, but it's nearly empty.
Oh yeah, Retro Computer Museum glass. Lee looks like a scary clown. That's what I thought he was dressed as when he first showed up. Sort of popped on my screen. I sort of took a step back.
Yeah. So now we've got Presto and we've got Mr. Claypole.
Who's this Mr. Claypole? You mentioned Mr. Claypole at the beginning.
Well, Gary, to Rent a Ghost.
Oh no, I do remember.
Google Rent a Ghost.
Yeah, I do remember Rent a Ghost.
Claypole. And was it Mrs. Popoff?
I was quite young with Rent a Ghost.
You know, if your mansion house needs haunting, just call Rent a Ghost. No, dear me.
Rent a Ghost were great. Metal Mickey, all them type of things.
Oh, Metal Mickey.
Don't get started on Mysterious as Gold and all the cartoons, otherwise we'll be here for another hour.
Yeah.
Can't take that. Well, yep. Is that it?
Yep. Job done. Or XRtravaganza. That was my little pun. So apologies. I did tell them. I said if you don't like it, just change it. Because I did say it's probably a bit rubbish.
Bothered.
we did change it.
We spent quite a lot of effort on this Christmas one, believe it or not. Like the lights and the thumbnail.
That's it. I don't want to see tinsel for another 12 months now. That's it.
It took way longer to do this little graphic thing than I'd like to say. Couldn't get the lights to twinkle, and it took me ages to try and get them to have that little bit of a glow effect. Not that people really care about that, but there you go.
Nope. Yep. But yeah,
one person's mentioned how I look, so no one's bothered.
There you go. It was worth the effort, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yep. But yep. So thank you very much for listening to this and all our other podcasts. We will be back sometime next year. There's CES, isn't there, at the beginning of January?
Yep.
So any time after that. I think just in case.
I mean, I'll be
anything...
moving hopefully towards the end of Jan, so I might not possibly make the next one, but I should be. If I don't, I will be back for Feb. If we can get internet sorted, because we're on about moving to, we don't know what provider we can get.
Ooh, so, scary. That's a scary thought.
Yeah,
I know.
But yeah, if you'd like to give us a Christmas present of a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple, that would be greatly appreciated. That's all we ask for. Failing that, a nice thumbs up, that'll do as well. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great Christmas. A Happy New Year. We'll see you next year. Cheers, everyone.
See you next time.
Take care.